Hey, it's Dane. It's been a while since I did a Dane's platform. You know, once the summertime comes, it's pretty slammed, and I get lazy and don't feel like doing stuff like this. But I've been getting a lot of emails, a lot of questions, people saying, hey, you know, should I start throwing some light shots? You know, and I'll respond, well, why do you want to throw a light shot? And they'll say, well, my coach says it has a higher rate of fast twitch muscle fiber recruitment. I'm like, no, it doesn't. There's no science to back that up. Is there another reason? And then, you know, the conversation goes on, and I explain my whole position with light implements. And I love throwing light implements. I love throwing heavy implements, and I love throwing competition weight. But there's got to be a reason why. There has to be a scientific reason, or at least for each athlete, an idea of why we're doing that, and why it might work for that athlete, and why it might not work for another athlete. So does it recruit more muscle fiber or motor units or whatever? They're using muscle fiber, but I would assume they mean motor units, and no, it doesn't. But you could take advantage of, you know, like post-tetanic potentiation. So you might throw a heavy shot, and then you throw a light shot, and it might feel good, and then your nervous system learns that speed with the new shot. And it's the big thing is that people need to realize that you can get faster throwing a heavy shot, or you can get faster throwing a light shot. It depends on the individual and the athlete. Some athletes really improve their technique with the heavy shot, so their technique gets more sound. They're faster getting to the front. You know, they don't jump as much out of the back because they can feel the shot really, really well with the heavy shot. So then that improved technical model actually transfers to a faster throw with the competition weight. And it can also happen with the light shot. So does a light shot make you faster just because it's lighter and you have to move faster? No, yes and no. It's not, well, that recruits more muscle fiber. That doesn't make sense to me, because the time difference of throwing, you know, a 20-pound shot versus throwing a 12-pound shot in the circle is minimal. You're going to be recruiting high threshold motor units. You're going to be recruiting fast twitch fibers, as these coaches are saying, with either implement. It's just, what type of athlete do you have? You know, does that athlete respond well to heavy shots or to light shots or to competition shots? You know, some really, really slow twitch people can't throw light shots. You know, they have to throw the heavy shots because their nervous system's so dull, because they're slow twitch athletes. They have to throw the heavy shot to actually feel it and to actually increase their technique, or improve their technique, or increase their distance. You know, so does that mean I don't like light shots? Absolutely not. I think they're awesome, and I think sometimes, you know, some athletes, it's good if they throw light shots first before they throw the heavy shots. It doesn't always have to be the heavy first. But there's got to be different things that you have to take into consideration. Like, what type of athlete are you dealing with? Are you dealing with a freak? You know, are you dealing with someone who's just an average guy that just got into throwing? Or are you dealing with a really slow twitch athlete who, you know, he's not good at long jumping or anything else? He doesn't want to run long distance. He wants to be a shot putter. So you have to take these all into consideration and figure out, okay, which athlete responds well to the light shots, or to the heavy shots, or to all the competition shot, or to all three different realms. And the biggest thing I like doing is looking at how, you know, in other areas of sports, you know, how do sprinters get faster? You know, they run short sprints, they run long sprints, they run hills, they run with sleds, they do special strength exercises with sleds, they do special strength exercises with bounds, single leg bounds, hurdle hops, you know, overspeed training, which could be comparable to throwing a light implement. But, you know, so to say that you're not going to get faster with a heavy shot, that'll make you slower, it doesn't make sense to me, because there's no science to back it up. So the light shots work really well, but so do the heavy shots. Both could make you faster. Both could screw with your technique, but both can also improve your technique. You've got to monitor all these things. You've got to see what each athlete responds really well to, and how they handle, you know, figure out what they're doing with the light shot, and then monitor their competition weight and see if that goes up, it goes down, or, you know, whatever, or it stays the same. You've got to monitor all these things, and then you can start figuring out, okay, the light implements work for this kid, the heavy implements work for this kid. This guy's a special person, he can use all three, you know, or whatever. You got to figure that out. They're all effective. It's just how you're going to implement them into your training program, and recognize that no matter what, the most important factor is to throw, and to throw heavy shots, to throw light shots, and to throw competition shots. I always compare it to the weight room. You know, you get in the weight room, you can increase your strength with max strength. You can increase your speed with max strength. You can increase your speed with dynamic strength. You can increase your speed with moderate strength. It all comes into the whole cycle. It's a big freaking circle that everything can improve everything else, but you've got to know how the puzzle pieces fit, and you've got to monitor what everybody's doing. If we're not monitoring the throws, if we're not monitoring the technique, nothing's going to improve, and everything's just going to be a shotgun shell. Well, maybe we'll try and use this, and then we'll try and use that, instead of using science to get people to peak well. So take everything into consideration when you're using different implements, and then you can figure out which athletes get which type of implements, and whether or not they work and whether or not they don't work.